Alright, homie. Alright, my guy. This re-intro because I messed up and let the whole video. I let my phone close. Like you guys know, I do a lot, so the video like cut out. So I'm probably gonna have to join that video with this one and just join them and make it into a big video um orgy. But anyway, so he was like, I keep my composure always. Actually, these videos are probably going to be too long to join, so I'm going to put them on two parts. And I'm sorry if you're angry about that, and that it cut like too like not early, but like it cut so abruptly. I'm sorry. But anyway, so he's like, I always keep my composure. Like I'm always keeping the anger in. I don't let it escape, and I never activate my quirk at school. And his dad's like, so why'd you do it this time, huh? What they said something you didn't like? They poke fun at you? He's like, well, guess what, little nigga? I get that every single day. But you do not see me lashing out like you just did. You got expelled. He's like, you got expelled. Do you understand what that means for me? That means I have to look for a new school. But you know what? I'm not even gonna look for a new school. We moving to the motherland. And Izuku's like, what? You're gonna move into a whole ass other continent, my nigga? And he says this like in an ignorant ass tone, and his dad like slaps him again. He's like, "Don't you dare talk to me like that, little nigga." And Izuku's like, "Yeah, sorry, dad." He's like, "But they was being racist, and he's like, nah, he doesn't say they was being racist. He's like, they was bullying this kid, and I tried to help, but then Katsuki like blasted me in my chest. Like he started it. He was the one that started the conflict, and he said something about this is what happens to our people. Like he was being racist and shit. And this the exact thing that he tells his dad. And he's like, what? He's like, don't lie to me, boy. Like this, none of this was in the report. Like we have testimony from two kids at the scene that was witnesses and said that you the one that started the fight and you did it for no reason whatsoever. And Izuku's like, that's probably because the teacher at that school, they don't like me either. They always staring at me weird when I'm in the hallways. They always try to fail me. They always pick on me for class, even though there's everybody else with their hands up. It's like, and Bakugo, he's been kind of like salty ever since he unlocked his quirk. You know, he's always had this superiority complex. He thinks he's better than everybody else. You know, he picks on the kids. You know, and he was telling the kids to die, and they're worthless, and they shouldn't exist because they're quirkless and stuff. And like, and I stood up for a kid, and he was racist to me, and I get the punishment for that. And he's like, how is that fair? You know, that's what Izuku's like. He's like, how is that fair towards me? Like, how is it that he does all the wrong shit, and I stand up for myself and that kid, and I'm the one who gets punished? And his dad hearing this, he's like, he's like, yo, what? Like, yo, I'm sorry, bro. And he's like, yo, you saying like all that mess happened, and the teacher didn't even mention it in the report? And he was like, nah, but the two kids that was there, that was the witnesses, they was Bakugo's friends. Like they was the ones that tried to fight me too. They tried to beat me up too. They was backing up Bakugo. It was 3-on-1. He's like, the teachers just saw the aftermath of me defending myself and assumed that because of my race, I must be the one that was bullying them, and I'm the one that was doing all this bad stuff. And his dad's like, what? Like, for it? And he was like, yeah, yeah. And his dad's like, yo, we gonna have to get you away from this place. Like me, you, and your mother, we moving to Africa. Okay, so they gonna move to Africa. Like his dad, he gets angry very easily, and that's where Izuku gets it from. He like his family, because of their quirks, his father's family's quirks, they get angry easily. They have like shit tempers. Like, but they can control themselves though. That's a plus of their thing. They can control anger better than most people, but they have a lot of anger and they ignorant as shit. So Izuku and his dad, they go back home. You know, they go to Africa and they stay there for 5 years. And in those 5 years, Izuku, his Izuku's dad takes him to all these shamans and shit. You know, I'm swearing a lot, but I'm sorry because I'm supposed to be fasting. It's Ramadan, but he takes him to all these shamans and all these witch doctors and stuff, trying to see like what's wrong with Izuku's quirk. Why can't he turn it off? You know, because he's never heard of a case of a quirk that can't be turned off by the user. You know, so all the shamans and the witch doctors, they tell him the same thing. Izuku's quirk has like fused with his personality, so it will never turn off ever again. You know, and so they spend like yeah. All right, sorry guys, I had to talk to my family. So like I said, they go to Africa. They stay there for like they stay in Africa for let me think 5 years. They stay in Africa for like 5 years, and then they move to America to be like with Izuku's dad, his grandparents, you know, because they went to the motherland, and they stayed with Izuku's like brother and his brother's wife. But then they moved out of their house like real quick, and they just stayed in Africa for like a long time. Then they moved in with their grandparents, you know, and they stayed there. And Izuku learned American. He made some bad decisions, got in with a little gang or whatever, but it wasn't like no serious gang. It was just like a little bit of drug dealing and guns and stuff. And he always kept a blicky on him, even though he could take a nigga and he could literally get shot in the chest and just get up like it was nothing. He still kept a blicky on him because he was like, hey, yo, like whatever. But his parents never. His parents they knew he was like in with a bad crowd, and that and he was around drugs and stuff. But it was like, yo, he has to figure it out on his own, cause his dad when they was in when they was in Africa, his dad seen that his kid is growing into like a wonderful young man, and that his kid is like very intelligent and mature for his age. Like he's like Huey Freeman, bro. Like he's very mature for his age, you know. And when they get to America, Izuku is like 9, so nothing happens the first year because they're gonna stay there for 6 years. So nothing happens the first year, or like the first 3 years, nothing happens until he's 12, you know. And then he starts hanging around the OGs, you know, and he's hanging around his cousins and shit from America, you know, getting into the gang violence and stuff, you know, and they moved to Chicago, so you know that bit dangerous as hell. So you know he gets the lingo down, he 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 wilding out, you know, he just living his best life there, you know, and for 3 years after the first 3 years, things go pretty smoothly. You know, his parents see that he gets a little money, you know, off the off the side, but they think it's just his cousin lending him a little money because you know his cousin loves him so much. Like his cousin like cares for Izuku more than most people more than most of Izuku's family, you know, because Izuku's just like that little brother he never get had. But I'm talking too much about this backstory. But anyway, so it's like a year before Izuku moves back to Japan, and Izuku he's in like he's in a shootout, yeah, and he gets hit like right in the chest where his heart is supposed to be, right? So he gets hit like right in the chest, and his cousin's like, oh shit, I can't do this. He's like, I have to like, I can't tell his parents or anything. So he goes to his house. His cousin's like 19 at this point, you know, and he's moving to like this little apartment, and he goes into the house with the homies, you know, and they trying to like find they trying to find the bullet, and his homies are like, yo, like, doesn't your brother have like a quirk or something like that can help with this? Like, don't anybody have a quirk like that can help with this? Because one of his guys has like a minor healing quirk that can heal you up to 50%, no drawbacks. And the guy's like, "Hey, yo, I can't heal him if the bullet's still inside his body." And that bitch looked like it went like straight for his heart, which they can't see that the wound isn't that deep because the bullet like it hit him in the chest, it penetrated his skin a little bit, and then the and then it like fell off because it can't penetrate like his muscles. Like it can penetrate the layer of fat that he has above his muscles, but his muscles are so strong and stuff, you know. because of the evolution that he had throughout the years. So his because he fought a lot, like in Africa, he fought a lot, like not as like violent thing, but more as like sparring and stuff with his dad. And so he evolved a lot when he came to America. The first 3 years he was still sparring with his dad, so he evolved a lot there too. And in these past 2 years, he's been hit with bullets like in his arms and stuff, but his parents never found out because, firstly, the friend that can heal them up to 50%, it was mostly just like skims of bullets. Then like when he got like one like right in the arm, like deep, like they just pulled it out and healed him like 50%, and then he was like kind of okay. He just had like this like big ass bruise on his arm, but this one is like very where near his heart, and there's a lot of blood, so they don't know how deep it goes. Then his cousin, he puts like this the things that they use to take out bullets. He puts it inside the hole, and he's trying to look for a bullet, but there ain't nothing. There's like this very hard thing inside, and he thinks that's the bullet. But if he spreads it out like a lot, even if he spreads it out a lot, it's opening the wound, and he still can't find the bullet. And he's like, what the hell is going on? And the guy's like, I don't know. Like I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that he says I'm gonna go out on a limb and say the bullet isn't inside him, like heal him right now. And his friend's like, are you sure? Like, bro, if I heal it while the slug's still inside him, he could die, especially if the thing is that close to his heart. And his cousin's like, just heal him, bro, just heal him. And Izuku gets healed, 50%, and because of his quirk, he gets healed like an extra 20% because of his evolution, and now he has a healing factor and dexterity on his skin and on his skin and stuff. It's not bulletproof, but it's nearly there. So let me see. It's been 11 years, so Izuku's 15 now, and now they're nah. It's been 10 years since he moved out from Japan, so he's 14, and now and he goes home, and his dad is like, there's a little blood on your shirt, because he switched it out for another shirt. He switched it out for another shirt because there was too much blood on his original shirt. So his cousin just lent him one. He's like, there's blood on your shirt. Like, what's that about? And Zuko's like, we was out in the streets, and like this random guy hit me in the chest with like he like we were out in the streets, and you know we was um we was getting mugged, but I tried to fight back, and that didn't really work out for me so much. And his dad explodes at him a little bit. He's like, yo, why would you do that, bro? Like, well, the type of environment we living in right now. Like, the type of environment we living in right now. Like, we can't you can't be doing this type of stuff. What if he had a gun and he hit you in your chest? And Zuko kind of like, he just he like has this smirk for like 2 seconds, then it goes away. And his dad's like, was that just a smirk? And Izuku's like, nah, bro, like it wasn't. Like, he's like, I understand you. I just didn't want to lose the money that Marcus been giving me, because Marcus is the name of his cousin. He's like, I don't want to lose the money that Marcus been giving me, because he does it out of his hard-earned money, which none of his family knows that Marcus traps either, because if they did, like, they would move Izuku away immediately. So and his dad's like, yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. But he's like, yo, this is a dangerous environment. You 14 now, like you have a pretty amazing grasp over your quirks. You have calmness of mind, and in a year's time, we're moving back to Japan. And Izuku's like, yo, for real? And his dad's like, yeah, we are. And Izuku, there's nothing special about Japan, but he feels this connectiveness with Japan, especially because All Might came from there, and All Might's like one of his favorite heroes. And even though he got into crime for a little bit, he still wanted to be a hero. And his cousin's always dissing him like, hey, yo, he won't become a hero. Like, when you do make, he's like, when you become the number one hero, make sure like you cut some slack for for us bottom feeders. And he's always like, yeah, yeah, don't worry though, like you guys just commit like regular crimes. You ain't no criminals or nothing. Give me a second. I thought these niggas was out here stealing a car, but nah, it's cool, it's cool. So his dad's like, yo, we moving back. But Izuku, um, everybody knows he wants to be a hero, and when he does choose to become a hero, which his cousin knows he will, his cousin's like, hey, yo, you gonna you gonna be kicked out the gang when you choose to become a hero. Which the gang, it's not like blood in, blood out type shit. It's just like, hey, yo, if you want to quit the lifestyle, you can quit the lifestyle. Like it's not forced on anybody, you know. Like even though they encourage you not to quit because you don't have their protection anymore type shit, obviously. But Izuku's like, yo, I'm moving away. So, so the year passes by with no further altercations with Izuku's body, which his cousin still doesn't know how Izuku like the bullet wasn't in there. But he's like, yo, it's a miracle from God. Like, let's just say that. And Izuku's like, yup, let's just say that. Even though he doesn't believe in God. Well, he does. Yeah, he does. Izuku's like, he believes in God. He's just not like, he's not Christian or anything. He just believes in a higher power. So he's like, yep, it was a miracle indeed. and this whole year passes, and he waits for a week before he moves away. And he's like, yo, yeah, I've been meaning to tell you for like nearly a year now, but like I'm gonna move to actually not a week, a month before. He's like, I've been meaning to tell you for like 11 months now, but I'm gonna move back to Japan like in a month, you know. And his cousin's like, yo, why you gotta do that? And Marcus is like, why you gotta do that, man? Come on, bro, like stay, man. And Izuku's like, nah. Firstly, it wouldn't even be my choice, but for real, I feel like a connectedness with my that he's like that's the place of my birth. Even though I love Africa, I love America. You know, these places are beautiful, way better than Japan. Love it way better. You know, especially the motherland. You know, he says I wish I could go back to the motherland and shit, but um, I got to go back to Japan because that's where the biggest hero school is, UA, and I'm gonna try out. And it's because it's like, you know what, follow your dreams, my nigga. Like he's like, I ain't even mad at it, bro. Just make sure like you send postcards and you talk to me on Skype and shit like that, you know. Cause a nigga get lonely without you. He's like, bro, a nigga get lonely without you. And Izuku's like, call me with that gay shit, bro. And Marco's like, bro, don't do that to me, bro. He's like, you can do that to all the other niggas. Don't do that to me. We family, bro. We family. And Izuku's like, yeah, for sure, for sure. And Izuku's like, how you think the gang gonna take it? And Marcus is like, hey, yo, you moving away, so it's not even your choice. It's not even your choice to quit the gang. So they're gonna be Gucci with it. Don't worry. And Izuku's like, all right. So a month goes, not a month, 3 weeks go by, and a week before he moves away, he tells his friends like I'm moving away and stuff, and they're like, hey, yo, for real, damn, bro, like we wish the best to you, bro. Like, and he was like, that's for real. I thought it was like blood in, blood out type shit. And they're like, nah, bro, we chilling for real. And plus, it's not even your choice to leave, it's your parents, so don't worry about it, bro. And he's just like, yo, I love you niggas, bro. No homo. They're like, yeah, we love you too, no homo. Like, don't worry, bro. We gonna see each other again. And Juke was like, I don't think we will, cause I'm gonna become a hero, my nigga. And they're like, you one of them niggas. He's like, well, when you make it out, make sure you don't forget about us. And then Izuku leaves. And I know there's been a very long introduction to the what if. I should put it as part 0, but I'm gonna put part 1 because I don't give a fuck, nigga. Fight me. You niggas be in the comment section, oh, it was too long, nigga. I don't give a fuck. Obviously, I'll try to shorten it because I'm a kind person, but I just don't care, bro. If you have a problem with my what ifs, I'll take constructive criticism. If it's all negativity, bro, get out of my face with that, yo. Like, I understand if it's like constructive criticism. I appreciate it. Ah, shit. I appreciate constructive criticism, but if you're just being negative, bro, get out my face or fight me, bro. So they moved back to Japan, They moved back they moved back 1 month before the UA exams, And Izuku's like, hey, yo, dad, since I'm gonna be trying out for the UA exams, like, we gonna have to start sparring again. And his dad's like, yeah, for sure. I was waiting for when you would tell me for us to start sparring again. But Izuku's like, but that's not it. Like, we gonna have to spar like hardcore, bro. Like trying to kill each other type stuff. And his dad's like, yeah, I have some anger I can let out. And Izuku's like, yeah, for sure, for sure. So for a whole month, they training hardcore. Like, and because of their things, because of fighting spirit, when they train, they gain more muscle than normal people. And Izuku, he's shredded, completely shredded. When he comes to Japan, he's completely shredded, six packs and all. He has big ass arms, you know. He's hench, but he gets a little bit bigger in this month, you know. Not Mirio thing. He's like a lean cut. Give me a second. I like to use this picture a lot to show the physique of Deku. So he's like this when he comes to Japan, and when it's time for the UA entrance exams, he's like this. He's like this, like a lot more muscle, you know. Like he's lean as hell still, but he's just a lot more muscle. He grew a lot more, you know. He's just overall that nigga. He's just overall that nigga. But you know, so time for the UA exams comes, and his dad's like, "Good luck. Make sure you don't fumble the bag, or I'ma fumble your face." And then we, he's like, if you mess up, I'm gonna beat your ass. And Izuku's like, okay. And his dad's like, and he's like, he wants Izuku to be an overachiever, so he's like, you better get that top spot, or I'm gonna beat your ass. And Izuku's like, okay. And his dad's like, you better get the top grades too, or I'm gonna beat your ass. And Izuku's like, oh, okay, sir. And he's like, that's what I fucking thought. Now, give your mama a hug, dap me up, and then you can go. So he gives his mama a hug. You know, they dap it up, and then Izuku just goes to the exams, and he don't have no uniform on or anything. And because his school because his school didn't have uniform, it was a non-uniform school, you know, because it's America. So um, when he gets there, you know, Bakugo Bakugo sent, and let's get back to Bakugo. Like after Izuku left, like some people, they didn't lose respect for Bakugo, but they weren't as scared of him because they were like, "What, Izuku? That weak guy beat Bakugo? He can't be that strong then." So Bakugo got challenged a lot because of that, and that's why Bakugo doesn't like Izuku even more now, because he's the whole reason that people been challenging my authority since since I was like 4, like since I was 5, you know. Yeah, on day 15 now. Yeah, day 15 and a half. I'm just gonna say, yeah, yeah. But anyway, he's like, since I was 5, people been challenging my authority, and it's always because of that Deku. So anytime he sees a hairstyle even comparable to Izuku, he tries to like look at the person's face just to make sure it's not him, you know. Because if it was him, Bakugo was trying to ruin Izuku's life for no reason, and he hasn't seen a bunch of black people since Izuku left. Like one person. That's when he went to another city, you know. So he's still a racist piece of shit because I don't like Bakugo. He's a terrorist. Um, so Bakugo sees this, like this. He sees the fro, you know, and he sees the dark skin. He's like, no, it couldn't be that nerd. It couldn't be him. And so he starts walking up, you know. He sees Izuku walk up, you know. Izuku, he has a little pep in his step. He pimping, you know. He pimping off. This nigga walking like normal, you know. He's saucy as shit, and he has like all the drip on, you know. He has like this little gold chain around him. You feel me? He has this little gold chain around him. He has tattoos on his arms and on his back, even though his parents don't know it, you know. Cause one of his parents know it. They reprimanded him at first, but they was like, "Hey, yo, like at home, kid, like at in Africa, kids get a bunch of tribal tattoos that mean shit to him." And his dad's like, "Hey, yo, as long as the tattoos are meaningful," he's like, "as long as they're meaningful, my guy, I don't mind," you know. And Izuku's like, "Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it, bro." And his dad's like, no problem. But if you come home with some shit that don't mean nothing, I'ma beat your ass. And Izuku's like, yeah, I get it, bro. Like you don't gotta be like that, man. Which Izuku is more powerful than his dad, but his dad don't know that, you know, because Izuku, he practices fighting with his dad. He doesn't use energy increase when he's fighting with his dad, so he doesn't have evolution when he's fighting with his dad. He just has his normal fighting spirit and fighting efficiency, and when he's using that only those two parts of his quirk, basically his dad stomps him. Not like that, like, but his dad has way more experience, you know. So they can fight for hours. It's just his dad has way more skill at fighting than him because his dad has more experience. So his dad has never seen him use energy output with efficiency. But his dad's like, if his dad was to go pro, like a pro hero, you know, he would be at least in the top. He would be in the top 20 at least, you know. And so Izuku being able to stomp his dad absolutely with energy increase. Izuku's at least he's at least a top 15 hero like right now, you know. Not 15 actually, a top 10 hero right now. He's like a top 10 hero, like the number 10 hero, whoever that is. Izuku could rock with him right now. Not All Might. It will take some time. It will take like a little bit of time for Izuku to catch up to All Might, but he will. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. So Bakugo, he walks up to Izuku, you know, not knowing if it's actually Izuku, but he's letting off these little pops, you know, from his hands, but it's barely like um audible, so Izuku don't hear it. Plus he has earphones in, you know, he just swagging the fuck out, you know, chilling, like he just cooling by himself. And Bakugo like touches him on his shoulder, and as soon as he does that, you know, because Izuku, he been having to be 10 toes for the past 3 years. He's had to be 10 toes on the ground, down to earth, like calculated. He's like, he was a gang member, my nigga. What do you expect? He was always alert, you know. So when a nigga touches him on the shoulder, you know, he just spins around, punches him, he cracks Bakugo in the jaw, like not in the jaw. He cracks Bakugo like in the face and breaks Bakugo's nose, you know. And Bakugo's like, that's definitely him. You know, he hasn't seen the face yet, but he's like, that's definitely him. Because Izuku didn't use his quirk or anything, he just used his normal strength. He can't turn off his quirk, but he can like measure his strength by percentage, like one for all. So he uses like 3%, like 5% of his strength, which is like an average fit fitly it's like an average physically fit man, not boy, man. So he punches Bakugo in the face with the strength of like um, a normal nigga. So Bakugo doesn't go flying or anything, but Bakugo does like fall on the ground and stuff, and his nose is bleeding. And Izuku turns around and he's like, "Who the fuck is you?" Which he doesn't recognize Bakugo because his whole experience with Bakugo was just annoying to him. It wasn't like traumatic or anything. It was just annoying. You know, he remembers Bakugo as the reason he had to move away, but he doesn't really care that he had to move away because he met a lot of important people in his life, and he's great, and he's not grateful for it, but he's just like, man, it is what it is. And he looks back, he's like, who the fuck is you, nigga? You know. And Bakugo's like, yeah, that's definitely him. And he's like, Deku, you know, does that loud ass shit. He's like, Deku. Fucking annoying ass nigga. I hate that nigga. I don't know why. I just don't like Bakugo. If you like Bakugo, you a fucking psychopath. You like a terrorist, my nigga. You should join ISIS. Anyway, so you know, Bakugo's like Deku, and he like throws this explosion at like Izuku's face, and he's like, oh, he's like, damn. He's like, what are the fucking chances of me running into this nigga? Cause just from that, Deku, Izuku recognizes the annoyingness of the thing, and he realizes the only person that's ever called him that was Bakugo. He said, he says that with like just disdain in his heart, not like hatred, but just like disdain. He just doesn't like Bakugo as a person and his personality and stuff. He's like, he could have changed, but from what I'm seeing right now, he hasn't. So he's like, he's like Bakugo, and Bakugo goes for like an explosion, and it's like a powerful one too, and he hits Izuku right in the face, but does nothing. Like there's just a little bit of dirt and like smoke, like smoke stains on Izuku's face. Give me a second, I'll be right back.